Scanners.
The mind force. Scanners. Their thoughts can kill.
Scanners is an 80s movie about mind powers, kind of like that movie Push. Only it's more 80s, less powers, and terrible acting. Let's just get spooky. Spoilers ahead. The movie starts off with a homeless man eating whatever he can get his hands on in a mall food court. Side note, was it ever common for people to just leave their food unattended in the food court? Seems like a douchey thing to do, but maybe that was just a thing back then. Some old bat is mocking him for being homeless and desperate, so he has a headache and she promptly has a seizure. Serves you right, you crone. Our homeless guy gets chased around by some guys in coats and he gets tranked and taken away. No need to alert anyone, citizens. Seems like a legit operation. He wakes up tied to a bed, been there 50 times, and an old man says he is a scanner, but doesn't realize it. He brings in about 20-30 people, and our homeless guy can hear all of their thoughts, and it overwhelms him until the doc shoots him up with a little juicy juice and all the voices go away. We jump to what looks like a science presentation. A man proclaims himself as Scanner and asks someone from the audience to come up and join him on the stage and prove his abilities. A man joins him on the stage and starts moaning and groaning.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
During this?
Woohoo! Big time, yeah.
But something's going wrong with a presenter and his head blows up in one of the most iconic 80s movie deaths ever. The man who did the killing tries to make a break for it, but is taken and escorted by several people, and he's like James Bond with mind powers, and he just messes them all up. We jump to a room of important government people talking about the reveal of scanners into the world and how the other night's presentation led to the death of 6 people. The program is pretty much dead because the last night they lost their last scanner, even though there are 230 known scanners. The old guy from before, Dr. Ruth, who kidnapped the homeless guy, believes there is an underground scanner group, and the man from the other night may have been the leader, Revik. We jump to Dr. Ruth giving exposition to the homeless guy, Vale, explaining what scanners are and what they can do, and blah blah blah. Keller opens up about his problems, and he is an atrocious actor. Earlier I said that the movie has terrible acting. In its defense, not all the actors are bad. It's just the main character, which is the worst person to have as your worst actor. Dr. Ruth sends Vale on a mission to infiltrate Revik's group, and he agrees to it mostly so he can get more of the drug that suppresses his powers, ephemeral. Right away we are shown that the guy who wants to shut down the whole project, Keller, is teamed up with Revik. Vale tries out his powers, and the movie skips a few steps because he fucks up a guy's heartbeat pretty easily and stops on a dime and goes, "You're right, Doctor. That was easy." Okay, so our main character doesn't go through any struggle or growth with his powers. He just is amazing by the 35-minute mark. Vale goes to an art gallery to do some digging. He finds out where an artist is who may be a scanner who may know Revik. He goes out to his personal studio in the middle of the country and get a pretty terrible shootout scene. It's not like that big of a studio, and a few guys with shotguns miss like 10 out of 12 rounds to kill one guy who is mostly just walking away during the shootout. And Vale pushes and knocks out the shooters.
What is this, amateur hour?
Shoot them. They were obviously here to kill you and the artist. Vale finds a small group of other scanners and wants to join them. Side note, it's really easy to join a group when the group leader is a hottie.
Giggity. What? Nothing, it's stupid.
But the group gets raided, and since their security is shit, it's the same gunmen from before, and they just blow the place apart. Some of the shooters get pushed and even set on fire. So far, powers-wise, we have seen mind reading, mind control, force powers, now pyrokinesis. Cool. So all the group members and most of the attackers get killed except for Vale and his new hot piece of ass Obrist. You clever dog. Vale and Obrist make it back to home base and meet with Ruth. On the way, Vale does find a factory that produces the ephemeral, and Revik seems to own it, which makes Ruth freak out because he is part of that factory. But this info leads them to believe that someone at the home base is a traitor, but they realize this at the same time Obrist is with the traitor Keller. Obrist makes her escape with Vale, but Keller has turned turned the whole place against them. Keller kills Ruth. Oberst and Vale get on a payphone, and get this, since a computer is like a brain because they both have a nervous system, Vale is able to connect to Revik's factory via a payphone with his mind. He makes the whole thing malfunction, and we get a ton of explosions, cause why the fuck not? It's the 80s, for crying out loud. Even though the factory is destroyed and Keller is dead, the movie is not quite over. They go to a local clinic to get some answers about ephemeral and notice a pregnant woman and her baby is a scanner. This place gets attacked and Vale and Oberst get tranked. Vale and Oberst are taken to Revik, and Revik reveals to Vale that Dr. Ruth was their father and they were the first scanners ever made. All other scanners are weaker compared to them. Ephemeral started off as a pain drug for pregos, but it turned out to have made Revik and Vale into scanners. Damn, that is some side effect. Revik wants Vale to join him and make a world of scanners, but he refuses and they have a telepathic fight, which ends in Vale's body being destroyed, but he transfers his brain into Revik's body, and the movie ends with Oberst meeting the new Vale. Good decision by them by making the new main character someone who can actually fucking act. The movie is you can watch it for free on YouTube, but every 15 seconds or so the video freezes, but the audio continues, then the video jumps to catch up. If you were looking to watch it, just find a different way. Like I said, the main character is a terrible actor. He doesn't really go through any progression with his powers. He just is super good after he stops being homeless. The twist at the end where him and Revik are siblings comes out of nowhere, so it didn't really do anything for me. The powers are cool, but also kind of bullshit. I liked how Push did their powers way better. You should just watch that movie instead. It's a shame that one never got a sequel. This movie, to me, is only famous because of the head explosion at the very beginning. The mind fight at the end does have some cool practical effects, but other than that, this movie is pretty skippable. And I know it has sequels, but unless I get a strong recommendation to watch them, I doubt I'll see them. Tomorrow we're watching Sympathy for the Devil.
Nick. You got me confused with someone else.
Really? I'm not who you think I am.
I never even told you who I think you are, so how could you know you're not who I think you are? Seek